when I entered this room, they started asking me questions almost all at a time. So when I tried to answer for one, like what are you going to do in Vic Falls? The other one asking who has funded you to go to Vic Falls? And when I try to answer, then the other one will hit me saying, why are you not answering me and answering him first? And I try to explain to them that I can't answer to you at the same time, and I try to tell them consistently that I'm going. It's a philanthropy conference, and it feeds also into even the African agenda. Gracia Machel is part of the respected guest that is at that conference. They couldn't take it anymore. That's when they started hitting me all over the body. They were using iron bars. Those iron bars that are used for window frames, on the window frames, to prevent thieves from getting in. That's the kind of iron bars that I was used to be hit. Iron bars, wooden bar, kick, open hands and kicks all over the body. And then they put handcuffs on me, and then forced me to lie facing down.
Greetings, and more greetings to you, good people. My name is DJ Oli, and welcome to 2.5 Creative Studios. Chitubu che content, chitubu chisingapwe, chitubu chinonwane munwese, chitubu chakavenekwa, chikawongororwa nana mazvikokota kunzi aiwaka. Chitubu ichi chine content iri healthy, content iri clean, content yakachena, yakakodzera kunge chikonsumwa nemunhu akaita kunge iwewe. Ndosaka uri panapa muzwara nhasi. So if it's your first time here, dzvanya subscribe button and the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any exciting content uploaded. Kana wangu wagara uri mugari wepanapa, dango kutenda nekutaseni nekukurumidza kubhadhara rent. Thank you very much for supporting 0.5 Creative Studios. Right, panapa ndine umbo wandinawo wandoda kukuratidzai. Vamwe vacho vanoita zvekunzwa, vamwe vanoita zvekuziva, vamwe vanoita zvekuona, vamwe vacho havatozive zvamuchose, but chikuru tichiuya nemavhidhiyo akadai so kukuzivisai kuti muonewo rumwe rutivi rwamusingazive. Handitika pane vakomana nevasikana vakadzurwa mundege vachienda kuVictoria Falls, vakasungwa vakagara mujeri almost for a month, vakazobuda musi unoyu. Saka panapa tine one wavo achitaura kuti zvakafamba sei, chii chakambonyatsoitika. But pane nyaya yangu pandoda kuti munyatsonzwa ndepekutochwa, kurohwa kwakaitwa. Ndopaunoona kutika munozongomhanya zvenyu muchiti huchi, muchisimbisa henyu, but vanhu ava, ivava vanhu ava vane hutsinye humwe husiri bo kana ka 1, vane hutsinye husiri bo kana ka 1. Nekuti hanzi ndairohwa nemasimbi, ndichirohwa nemapuranga. Hanzi umwe aita akandibvunza zvakati, umwe achindibvunza ndikada kupindura uyu ondirova kuti sei wapindura uyu ondirova kuti sei usiri kupindura inini. Mawana pakaipa. Saka ndo video ndoda ndikuratidzei muchizvinzwira from the horse's mouth. Mukomana Robson Chere achita sei, achitaura. Ndiye mumwe chetewo akasungwa nana Matai Kwekweza, nditi Kwekweza, nditika ma1 chaiyo. Handisi kuzoplaya the full interview, ndichangoplaya the introduction. Mozvinzwira mega. Kuna vachazoda kuona the full and the complete interview, munogona kuenda page rakanzi Citizens Voice Network paFacebook page kana kuti paYouTube. Handitika mozvionera hutsinye huri kuitwa nevanhu vamunosapota, nevanhu vamunovhotera, nevanhu vamunenge muchiti huchi. Ma1 chaiyo. Saka ndisandapinda muvhidhiyo iri, ndodangotaura kuti kana une business raunaro rauda kushambadzirwa, ndibate. Namba dzangu ndo idzo dziri pascreen idzo. Kana une nyaya yaunayo yauda kuti ndifambire, ndibate futi pasame namba idzodzo. Handitika nyaya yako toita sei, toifambira. Handitika hatinete, hatimire kuita sei kudzifambira nyaya idzodzo. Handitika right, gwenzi rephytomed ndo gwenzi racho zvamanje manje. Kana usitorina mudheni mako uchazoritsvaga, hanzi uchayeuka bako mvura yanaya, one day is one day uchazenga wakunditsoma wakuda gwenzi iri. Gara waorder sini rako wogara naro mudheni. Handitika pane ma-tea bags ekuti unonwa setea, pane ma-tablets ekuti unonwa semapirisi uchikabira kabira, zvakawanda, but zvese izvi it's natural things, it's natural, 100% natural herbs. And saka bata koni kana uri muSouth Africa panamba dzakanzi +27 idzo, kana uri kuZimbabwe wobata nyari panamba dzakanzi +263 idzo, woti ndikuda gwenzi, ndine problem yakati neyakati neyakati neyakati, vasikana vanoita sei vanokubatsira same time, handitika pasina kana kuwanda kana kuita sei. And make sure kuti uri kufambira zvegwenzi chete, because vasikana vanogara vari chii, vanogara vari busy. Usazoda kunyanyowanza tunyaya tusiko, chingotaura ndine dambudziko rakati ndiri kuda gwenzi. Handitika kana uri mugari wemuSouth Africa une kabhinda uko kako kauri kuita, kabhizimusi kako kauri kuita, aiwa ndinokukurudzira kuti ita mapepa, wanikwa une mapepa. Handitika mapepa akaita sei akakwana. Saka chiripo register company yako muSouth Africa, waregister company yako wovhurirwa bank account. Handitika bata Owen panamba idzo dziri pascreen, wotaura kuti Owen, ndabva nekuna DJ Holly, ndine kabhizimusi kangu akandoda kuita aka, zvakamira so ndoita sei. Anobva akuudza zvinodiwa, but chikuru chinonyanyodiwa ipapo ichi passport iri valid. Handitika passport ndo iri kuita sei, iri kunyanyodiwa. Handitika ukangodaro chete zvinhu zvako zvaita sei zvanaka. Handitika pande rhythms, mufana wangu wari urwa gospel remandoro kwati, gospel rekumberi haindoona hangu kegospel rake mufana wangu rinonakidza kupfuura rababa Harare. Munogona kumboenda munoona kuYouTube channel yakanzi Pande Rhythms, mozvinzwira mega, mozvionera mega, mosiya comment ikoko. Handitika ma1 ari kurova mufana wangu, ndichaya naye for interview, toita sei tokurukura. Handitika saka rega tipinde munyaya yedu tinzwe kuti chii chakaitika kune mukomana uyu paexperience yake yaakasangana nayo. Handitika mozvinzwirawo mega, kuitira kuti kana makuzoti huchika munoitira huchi zviripo, kana kuti munenge muchiitira huchi pasina. Handitika rega tinzoti aufa apa kuti zvakamira 1-1.
Tell us your time at the college, right from the beginning. What happened? How did it happen? Right away from the Robert Mugabe International Airport.
Okay. Thank you so much for having me on this program. It has been a terrible experience since from the time that I was abducted at Harare, at Robert Mugabe International Airport in Harare on the 31st of July, when I was bound to travel from Harare to Vic Falls for a philanthropy conference. So on the day when I went to Harare International Airport, I passed through all the security checks after checking in, and then I went and boarded a plane, the first jet, which was bound for the Vic Falls. It was supposed to leave at 10 to 1 p.m. in the afternoon. Then just a few minutes before the taking off time, the engine had already started, but then it was then switched off. And then there was an announcement from the people who were official in the plane that they were going to delay taking off due to a situation which was beyond their control. And they apologized to the customers for the inconveniences in terms of delaying. So soon after they've announced that they were going to delay taking off, that is when 6 people boarded the plane. Among the 6, there was one woman. They were wearing reflectors. They came to the seat where I was, and then they instructed me to disembark from the plane, and they also went to Samuel Gwenzi, who I was seated next to at the seat. They instructed him the same, and then I had to ask them what authority that they had in terms of instructing us to disembark, but they then said that we will find out the reason after did him bad. So they were forceful. They just took our phone, my phone, and the other colleague's phone, there and there. And then we were forced out of the plane, and they instructed the officials to remove our bags from the cargo. And then from there, they took us to the domestic terminal, which is still under renovation, so it was closed. We were taken through the back side of the domestic terminal through a small opening, which is of a height of my knees. And then we had to force to crawl into that.
They had not identified themselves.
They had not identified themselves.
They were still 6.
They were still 6, and we were asking them to identify themselves and why they were forcing us there. And they said that we will find out later. So when we get into the domestic terminal, we were made to wait there. And then they were busy on their phones, communicating with other people. While they were communicating, we couldn't hear, but they were busy with their phones communicating with other people. Then after almost an hour in the domestic terminal there, which was closed, the one of them went to the doors and opened the door, and then a group of around 14 to 15 men came in. They were led to a room which is that's adjacent into the domestic terminal, but that room is you go through a passage and then there's a room. So when those men entered that room, the people who were holding us hostage, three of them went into that room, spent some time, 20 minutes with that group of men who came. And then later on, they came into the domestic terminal where the other 3 were left behind watching us. So we were then led one by one into that room, which I can describe as a torture room, because that was where the interrogation and all the torture that was happening to us, that was being subjected to us, was taking place. So they were calling us one by one into that room. I was the last one to get into that room. When I went into that room, I was subjected to a lot of torture from this man. I can describe this torture. I can relate this torture from the story that I was told by my father when I was still young. The torture he experienced during the liberation struggle, in which he was accused by the then Rhodesian state agents that he had assisted the liberation fighters. So my father told me that when he was abducted when he was taken, in fact, during the day by the Rhodesian state agents, then they went with him. Where I'm from, Muzumba. They went with him from a place which is called Katio Business Shopping Center from our area in Mahema. And then they subjected him to a lot of torture. When we grew up, he discussed injuries, and when I asked him, that is what he told me. He only woke up or regained consciousness after the beating, being accused for assisting the liberation war fighters. And the story that he told me is actually almost the same with what happened to me. And it is really sad that this is coming at a time when the same people who made my father tortured because he was assisting, it was a noble cause, now torture me, send people to torture me because these people I want to strongly believe that they are state agents in this Zimbabwe, which we say is a free Zimbabwe, a liberation.
Right, muri kumunzwa mukomana ari kutaura hakuna munhu ane authority yekungosvika ine ordinary person otaura kuti ndege ngaimire kufamba, ngaimire kusumuka izvozvi, ningi naningi ngavombosumuka, imimi torai zvinhu zvavo vabude mundege umu. Hakuna a normal person anoita izvozvo. This means kuti vanhu ava ma-state agents, vanhu vatori ma-secret service chaiwo zvekuti hazvitomborambirwe and hazvina kana chitsotsi and hazvina kana kuti tunoramba tichiti chii, because hakuna an ordinary person. I cannot just go by airport and then instruct people to say this one and this one and this one without even identifying myself. Zvinotaura kuti vashandi vemundege vanga vatoudzwa kunzi vanhu ava vakuru ava, siyai vaite zvavari kuita, ndege injini ikadzimwa mawanai. And then otaura kuti inini baba vangu inini vakatochwa vachirwira nyika, vachifaitira kuti tinge tine rusununguko, but vanhu vavakatocherwa, wavakakura tichiona mavanga avo pamusoro pekuti taiti tiri pamwe chete, tiri maZimbabweans, tiri kuvaka nyika yedu, tiri kurwira nyika yedu, ndo vakuchindirova nhasi, vakuchinditocha nhasi. Mawanika siya comment mucomment section, ndangoti tiuye nazvo pachena tiri kuratidzei hutsinye, kushaya moyo kwevanhu veZanu PF, kushaya moyo, kushaya rudo nevanhu vavo. Nyaya yavairohwerwa vanhu ava ingori simple, hanzi muri kuronga kuita demonstration during SADC summit. Right now SADC summit yakaitwa, yakapera, vari kuti itwa success. What next? Kumba kwako zvinezvi unenzara, hauna chikafu, but waiti fe uchiseka vamwe vana vevanhu pasocial media vakasungwa vasina kana mhosva, zvinezvi uri kukwara nenzara padheni, uchaita sei? Rega tingonzwa kutochwa kwakaitwa, marohwerwo akaitwa, and then tatagumira zvedu ipapo. Handita
just hold you a bit. What was the moment like? What was the environment like? What was the mood when you entered into the room? How many people were inside? I just want to get a picture of what exactly did it look like.
Yeah, so this room doesn't have enough lighting. There were no chairs in that room. All the men, around 15 men, were standing in that room, and the room is separated by a pit, which is almost around 2.5 to 3 meters deep on the other side. You could see there's a pit. So when I entered this room, they started asking me questions almost all at a time. So when I tried to answer for one, like what are you going to do in Vic Falls? The other one asking who has funded you to go to Vic Falls? And when I tried to answer, then the other one will hit me saying, why are you not answering me and answering him first? And I tried to explain to them that I can't answer to you at the same time, and I tried to tell them consistently that I'm going. It's a philanthropy conference, and it feeds also into even the African agenda. Hwese Hwe is part of the respected guest that is at that conference. They couldn't take it anymore. That's when they started hitting me all over the body. They were using iron bars. Those iron bars that are used for window frames, on the window frames, to prevent thieves from getting in. That's the kind of iron bars that I was used to be hit. Iron bars, wooden bar, kick, open hands and kicks all over the body. And then they put handcuffs on me, and then forced me to lie facing down. And then some standing on my feet and hitting me at the back. It was really terrible. Part of them were recording me using their cell phones when I was being hit, and also.
Could someone happen to hear what could be happening in that room when he or she's outside?
It depends now with the distance that person could be, but it's yeah, I think it depends with the distance, but that room is in the passage next to the domestic plane, and also it depends whether you are next to the you are a few meters from the room, you could hear, but if you are just some meters away, so several meters, you could not hear.
And from the way you see it, do you think it's really that room is in that state because of the renovations, or it's a deliberate place that is meant for, such inhuman treatment?
I'm not so sure whether the room is there specifically for this purpose, but since I was tortured in that room and it had nothing in terms of other things that you could say that this is an office or what, I would maybe supposedly want to believe that it might be maybe designed for the purpose that it was used to towards me. And so yeah, when I was being tortured, they made me to unlock my phone. They asked me to unlock my phone, and of which I refused because they had illegally seized my phone, and these people did not even identify themselves. So I refused to unlock my phone, and also being forced to chant slogans. I refused that. So they continued hitting me. They were saying that they are the open boys, and word should spread that there is open boys in town who are in operation. And they accused me, saying that we are planning to protest during the upcoming SADC summit. To me, which was unfounded allegations, because we were just going to attend a philanthropy conference. All those lies that they were alleging were only lies and stories, not factual. So the moment
were you really planning something?
no, not at all.
Do you know of any who was planning to?
I didn't know of anyone who was planning a SADC protest. Actually, just a trade unionist, a teacher who was going for the philanthropy, thinking that also to tap valuable, important interactions from the philanthropy education that will help the education sector. That was the main reason I was going there, and I was going there on behalf of Amalgamated Road Teachers Union of Zimbabwe as their Secretary General. Nothing to do with the SADC summit that was coming in. I don't know where the paranoia was coming from these people, to an extent that they could torture me up until I lose consciousness, only to wake up my face covered with a mutton cloth, and a gentleman who was wearing a suit covering his face with a mask, pouring water from a bucket, which choked me and then regained my consciousness. And after I regained the consciousness, I was my clothes were tattered, and there was blood stains on my clothes, and I was then instructed to take clothes from the bag that he had clothes that I wanted to use at Victoria Falls, and I was instructed to change the clothes and put on other clothes, and also to apply Vaseline, which was a way to cover up for the beatings, the scars, and all the visible blood stains that were on my clothes. I was detained. I was then put into the terminal, inside the domestic terminal, where the other colleagues were there. Then from there, around 7 to 8.
So how did the beatings last? The torture, how did it last? It lasts for how long did it last?
I was the last one to be taken into that room, which I describe as a torture room. I think it was maybe around 5. And then in the room, Then from there, the moment
By the
that
time you woke up.
I didn't knew what the time it was, but it was dark. It was dark. It was now more dark, meaning that there were several hours that passed. And then we were then told that we are under arrest, and that is the police is coming to collect us from the airport. And then the police came at between 7 and 8 p.m. Police from CID, Law and Order, who were not part of the group that was torturing us. We then surrendered to the police. They took us then from myself, Hwese Hwe, Samuel Gwens, and Hwese Hwe Zanu were then taken to Harare Central CID, Law and Order.
Right, mazvinzwira mega nyaya mukomana achitsanangura, hapana chekuwedzera, hapana chekubvisa. Vanoda kuzoona full clip makasununguka kuenda kunoriona kwandambotaura kuya ndo vanhu vacho vatiri kushanda navo, ndo vanhu vacho vatiri kudhila navo ivavo, ndo vanhu vacho vatiri kuvhotera mazuva ese ivavo, mwedzi yese, makore ese ivava vari kusvika pakuita utsinye hwakadai so. One thing is that I will tell you ndeshekuti anzi you reap what you sow. Vachakohwa and unogona kurova munhu uchiti uri pabasa, but one day is one day baba, unoita sei unokohwa. Unogona kunge uchinakirwa zvamanje manje, uchiti uchidya, uchitengerwa mota, uchiita sei, but one day ndiri kukutaurira baba kuti misodzi yevanhu, kuchema kwevanhu hazvipere zvakaita sei zvakadaro. A very good example yamunoona yatinokuudzai, yatogara tichikuudzai panapa, a very good example yaPresident Robert Mugabe, kuti vaita yese yavaita, vachinakirwa vachiita yese yavaita, but vakazofa vane chigumbu. Ndopa panonzi what goes around comes back around. Amen. Let me know what you think in comment section. Siya comment yako, utaura mafungiro ako kuti zviriko here zvinhu zvakadai so. But ndonyanga tingofamba naye zvamanje manje. As for me, DJ Oli and the rest of the crew behind the scenes, aiwaka tiri kuti is bye for now. Ngatisangane muvideo rinotera.